Hi, everyone. I'm Avon Fire Chief Bob Spur, coming to you with one of our regular COVID updates. With me, as always, is
Kathleen Waldron, health agent for Avon.
hi, Kathleen. So, as we usually do, let's start out with the current conditions. In the United States, there's a little over 7.5 million known positive cases, and there are 203,500 fatalities. In Massachusetts, we're at 133,868 cases and 9,342 known fatalities. Kathleen, how's Avon?
Avon's cumulative number is 90 positive cases. We currently have less than 5 positive cases in the town, and Chief Spur can explain to you the numbers a little bit. I know if you saw the state data, it does say we have 5 positive cases, and we continue to be in the red high risk category. So if you want to explain why that is.
Sure. So first, a quick recap. Avon, based on our size, and I've said this for the past couple videos, based on our size, we can only either be gray or red. We just simply numbers wise can't be green or yellow. One thing that we found is that the state is actually using our numbers from the 2 weeks that ended Saturday. So October 3rd is when those numbers were captured. We believe, because all the test data is obviously not in, it takes a couple days to come in, but from the data we know now, we actually would be listed as a gray community if you were to looked at data that was done yesterday, which when we talked about we might be gray this current week, that's the way we thought it was done. And since then, it's caused us to do a lot more digging in and found that the state does actually use data that is 4 days old when it's tested on Wednesday. We believe that they have a reason behind that. But right at the moment, we're just going to go with, hey, the data is 4 days old. From our belief at the moment, we are in a gray situation now. So we are below the threshold of 5 for reporting. But that doesn't mean it's time to change things.
No,
Kathleen?
It doesn't mean it's time to let up on any restrictions, continue wearing face mask and social distance, everything we've been saying all along.
So the map has a lot more red on it. I'm just going to click through on that for one quick second to show it to anybody that hasn't seen it. This is the current map. And any of you that don't remember where we are, that's Avon. And well, that's Avon and Brockton, because Avon's so small, it's hard to actually get just Avon circled. But you'll notice above us is Randolph, and below us is Brockton. Randolph was green last week. They're red this week. Brockton was yellow last week. They're red this week. There is significantly more red on the map overall than there was. 2 communities have come off, which means 19 new communities have come on, if my math is correct.
Yep.
So there's still quite a bit of corona going out there, COVID floating around out there, and more communities are turning red. Not unexpected. There was some suspicion that this was going to be a seasonal uptick. Let me shut this off so you can see us. And we think we're seeing that happening. So mask vigilance remains very important to go through. Plus all the other stuff that we've been talking about right along, as far as the hand hygiene and the small groups and things like that.
And proper mask wearing too. You want to make sure it's covering your nose and your mouth. Right. That it has at least 3 layers. A bandana really isn't a sufficient face covering. The gaiters, I'm sure you've heard back and forth, but that thin piece of material isn't really enough. You want to have a decent mask with a couple layers and wear it properly.
Right. I think something that bears repeating is, I'm not sure it's been talked about in a few videos now, is signs and symptoms. What to think about. So Kathleen, can you run through that real quick again? Some of the things to say, hey, this might be corona. I probably ought to get tested.
Yeah, the most recent symptoms are loss of taste and loss of smell. But along with those are abdominal pain, chills, cough, headaches, fever, diarrhea, muscle pains, shortness of breath, sore throat, and vomiting. So if you have any of those, a combination of those, you just want to be extra cautious. Like, now is not the time to just say, oh, it's seasonal allergies, and go out and be in close contact, right. Not wear your mask, because you could potentially be spreading it to other people.
Right. The itchy eyes, runny nose, stuff like that clears up with your normal seasonal allergy med, probably a pretty decent shot at your seasonal allergies. But anything else, if your normal routine doesn't do exactly like it normally would, and even then, you should be wearing a mask because you simply don't know. Until you've had that chance to go, okay, I'm using my Zyrtec or whatever you take and go, hey, I can breathe fine, everything's good again. You need to wear that mask very diligently from a source control standpoint.
And if you have any doubts, there's plenty of testing opportunities.
Right.
Randolph has a couple clinics once every week that Avon residents are more than welcome to go to.
Excellent. It's also coming up on flu season. We know that this is the emerging time of year. And you just mentioned the word clinics. So let's talk about flu and clinics.
Oh, yeah, we have a flu clinic next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, October 14th from 12 to 5. It'll be at St. Michael's Church. It's open to anybody. You don't have to be an Avon resident either to attend that. It's primarily going to be outdoors. You'll stay in your car. If you can pre-register beforehand, that's great. It's just a form for insurance. If you want to email me, I can send it to you. Bring your insurance card, and get your flu shot.
And if you don't have insurance, there is a small charge on
it. Off the top of my head, I think that the high dose it's like $70 and the regular one is around $40.
Okay.
But if you need the exact numbers, please feel free to call me.
Yep. So what the pre-registration is doing for it, a couple things. Number one, it lets us kind of know how many people we can expect, but that's not a big deal. It's going to cut time down of you sitting in your car with a clipboard filling paperwork out. So it's going to speed your experience through. So if you plan on coming, please fill the paperwork out beforehand just to make your experience more pleasant as you come through. Again, we're running this as a test for our emergency dispensing sites, which is a plan that we've had for a decade and a half, or a decade anyways. This is nothing new because of it, but it gives us an opportunity to test different things through. So you'll see some things we're doing that you're going to go, I wonder why they're doing that. It's purely us testing out a plan, and it's really got nothing to do with the flu clinic. So nothing to be worried about. Anything else we need to tell them today?
I want to touch briefly on the moving forward. I know some communities have moved to step two of phase 3. Avon is still in step 1 of phase 3, so it affects some number as far as gathering indoors and outdoors. And we'll remain in that step 1 as long as we stay a red community. So we need 3 weeks of being unshaded in order for us to move forward to step 2.
Okay. So, it's important for us to get down below that number. It really does mean some things, but there's different groups that look at different things. I'm not to speak for the schools, but the superintendent talked last week when she was on here with us that they kind of look at these numbers from a different standpoint also, and they've got their own guidelines under DESE. So, I'll let her continue her messaging out to the parents and those people related to the school district on what's going on there. But, the state's talking a multi-week thing, and this number is based on 5. So we barely met the threshold to be red on this one. We believe we're below that threshold unless there's unreported cases at this point. So yes, we're red, but even like last week, we're not in, oh my goodness, terrible shape on this. We need to be diligent, keep up with your mask stuff, keep up with the other things, watch your symptoms and get tested if you need to. Please don't think, oh, I don't want to get tested because I don't want to mess with the number. No, go get tested. We'll deal with the numbers and the colors.
Right. I want to say that too. I know a lot of focus is on numbers and colors and all that stuff, but I think the bottom line is that we want our residents in Avon and in the state to just be safe. We want to keep everyone healthy. So I think that's more important than knowing what number you are and where you stand. I think we just need to be cognizant of what's going on, wear our masks, social distance, and continue to do what you're doing.
Right. Exactly. That's great points. And look, these increases are completely expected this time of year. We flattened the curve. It got what we needed to. There's going to be bumps that come up in it. We run a lot of models and analysis, and it's not some giant spike that we're seeing again. This is not March that we're seeing. The numbers are up, but we're using real low thresholds to get those numbers there this year. So, or this time of year. So yeah, we're up are still up there. It's not terrible. Our numbers are in good shape. Be diligent about your stuff and stay safe. Thank you.
Bye.